Hello, hello. Welcome to my space. I hope you are doing well. So, today, before we get into a spread, I want to share a message with you. It is talking about living your life differently, it is talking about freedom. If you are not interested in the message, I will put time stamp in the description box in order to go immediately into the spread. So, the message that I have for you today is not everyone actually wants freedom, even when it is offered to them. So, let's talk about it. There is an ancient story by Plato called The Myth of the Cave. So, in this story, people are chained inside a cave facing a wall, and behind them there is a fire. And between the fire and their backs, they see shadows, and those shadows move. Their entire life, all they have known are, in fact, those shadows. They believe the shadows are reality. One day, someone breaks free and walks outside of the cave. At first, the light is hurting their eyes, the truth feels blinding, nothing makes sense. But slowly they begin to see the real world, and when they return to the cave in order to tell to others what they have discovered, they are not well received at all. They are mocked, they are rejected, they are not believed. Because here's the part no one talks about. Most people are not afraid of chains, they are afraid of the light. Freedom is not comfortable. Freedom means choice, which means responsibility. Freedom means no one to blame but yourself. And this is terrifying for most people. So even when people can choose differently, who to be, how to live, what kind of life they want, many still follow the script that was handed to them. Not because they are forced, but because certainty feels safer than truth. Freedom asks a dangerous question. What do I actually want if no one is watching? And most people have never been taught how to answer to this question. So they chase milestones instead of meaning, approval instead of authenticity, and safety instead of alignment. They stay in the cave not because they cannot leave, but because leaving changes everything. The light will ask from them to become responsible for their own life. And that not everyone is ready for that. So, if you ever felt different, if you felt out of place, if you've ever questioned path that everyone else followed without thinking, and you have been made to feel like you are the problem, you may just be someone who's already stepped a little closer to the light. And once you have seen it, you cannot unsee it. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. Freedom is about having the courage to live in truth, even when it's lonely and especially when it is lonely. So, if you are a cycle breaker, I guess that this text might explain to you a little bit why you might be dealing with so much aggression, resentment, people trying to keep you in place. This might be the reason why. So, I hope that it was inspiring to you. We will get into a reading. Just give me 1 second. I will just arrange my space so I don't break anything. Let's see. Oppa, sorry about that. I didn't meant to move the camera. So, let's get into it. Let's see what oracle deck we are using today. Let's see. Oh, the Love Oracle deck. I never ever used this deck to start a reading. I love it. This is why I did this thing. Because then suddenly I'm not deciding. And I'm using decks that I never ever used. So let's see. Let's take 9 cards and let's see what we are talking about today. 1 second, I need to shuffle it. And I want to shuffle it in both directions because when I use this deck, which is kind of rare, to be honest, it is always in addition. So, let's see. Kisses in reverse, abundance in reverse. So the kisses, what's written, it's unconditionally loving, guiding, giving and receiving affection, falling in love, and it is in reverse. We have abundance in reverse, keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude, bliss. So we have someone who has no abundance, might be connected to a connection with you, a relationship with you. You might have felt that there was no unconditional love with this person. Let's see. A lot of reverse. Addiction in reverse. Palm tree in reverse. Yeah, this was not a happy relationship. With the addiction in reverse, what I feel here it is that we might be talking about someone who was trying to trauma bond you, or maybe they were trauma bonding you. We have the sword and the rose, clarity, the dragonfly in reverse. Let's take 3 more cards. 1, 2, and 3. Interesting. So, the last card that we have, it is the golden mirror. We have soulmate in reverse, and we have girl with a snake in the 7th position. This is talking, I wanted to say when I was seeing all those cards, I already told you about the trauma bonding. If you know a little bit about narcissistic personalities, or people that have a very strong narcissistic tendency, you know that very often it is related to the trauma bond. It doesn't have to be, right? Other people can also trauma bond you, but this is surely something attached to narcissism. Here with the girl with the snake, we have the empath and narcissism paradigm. Being charmed or used, enable boundaries. So, I kind of feel here that we might be talking about you dealing with someone that was narcissistic. I love to see here in the 5th position the sword and the rose, because this talks about revelation, clarity and truth, protection, power. It is in the 5th place, so this is the place where you can make a change in your life. It's a path shift, in fact, right? It is, you are facing something and you are taking a direction. So I love to see that the direction is clarity, truth, and revelation. So as said, with the addiction in the 3rd position, I truly feel that somebody wanted you to be codependent. They wanted you to be obsessed by them. They considered you as a possession. They were very controlling. So seeing that you could see it and free yourself, it is absolutely beautiful. So let me get a little bit more into those cards. The abundance in reverse here, the 2nd position, the position of partnership, relationship, all those things. So you might have felt no abundance in this relationship. This person, if we are talking about the narcissistic relationship, the way that it works, it is hot and cold, right? So in the beginning, they are trauma bonding you, they are mirroring to you whoever they think that you want to see, and they present themselves as the ideal partner, and you feel seen as never before. And it's important because they expect you to hold on to those memories. And when you are experimenting this thing, this is the first phase of the addiction, because when we are talking about a trauma bond with a narcissist, we are talking about a hormonal addiction, right? You are supposed to have the hormone of happiness in the beginning, very, very high. So they are bringing you very, very high. And once you are totally, your body is totally inhabited by all this happiness, this hormone of happiness, getting used to that, suddenly they are tearing the rug under your feet and you are falling. And now it is the hormone of stress, right? So it is this hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And then, you know, your body is craving again the hormone of happiness. And so you are craving, truly, it is a craving. It is not, many people think that they cannot release of the toxic relationship because they are not strong enough. No, they are addicted. Their body is craving for this happiness, right, that you felt in the beginning. And in your mind, you have all those beautiful memories. So this is what your body is craving for, right? So it's a very natural process, in fact, that you are going through, but it's a dangerous one. And as said, it is an addiction. There was no happiness, no stability, no security with the palm tree here in the fourth position, which is interesting because the fourth position is talking about stability. Look what we have here. Can you see the card? Yes, you can. Stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, flexibility. It is in reverse. No stability. Of course, there is no stability because they are unstable and they want to control you. They want the hot and cold. This is what they want. And you might also not be dealing, especially with somebody truly, I don't know if it's the right word, truly narcissistic. You might be talking about an avoidant. An avoidant is craving closeness, but at the same time, it's their biggest fear. So they are in this hot and cold, and they reflect it outside, in fact, right? Because they want the closeness. So they are totally there, but once they feel that you can get into their heart, they are fearful. And so suddenly they reject you. Suddenly they don't want it. And they don't reject you. In fact, they reject the feeling of love, the feeling of attachment. They are afraid of being attached to you because they are afraid that they will lose you. This is the avoidant. And just to be clear, because when I'm saying that, people think, no, but I don't want to leave them. I will never leave them. I will prove to them that it is safe to love me. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? It has nothing. It's not something outside of them. Outside of them, nothing can heal this wound. It's an inner work. No amount of love, the more you will give them love, the more you will give them security, the more they will feel the need to step back, because the more fearful they will be to become attached, right? So love to see here the clarity. The dragonfly in the reverse. Be light-hearted, finding out things coming to light. Adapt, change, heal. This is what is not happening. There was no lightness in this relationship. Yeah, there was lightness and then drama, and then lightness and happiness, and like over-the-top happiness, right? As I already said in another reading, we are talking a lot about red flags, but we often neglect the biggest red flag if it looks too good to be true. It is fake. This is what it is. We already know it with advertisement and all those kind of things, right? When we see like huge promises, you don't have to do anything and you will make millions. we know that it's fake. It is the same in relationships. When someone is giving you the perfect mirror, please pay attention, because this can be a red flag. They are not maybe presenting themselves, they are just reflecting on you what they think that you might want to hear, right? So it is a red flag. It doesn't mean that it's always a red flag, but you need to pay attention. You truly need to pay attention. So, as said here, seventh position, the lesson here might be understanding narcissism. Most victims of narcissism, they stay in the loop. They go from one narcissistic relationship to the other until they truly understand that they first of all, they learn about the word narcissism and they understand what it is. Because once you study a little bit about narcissism, so you get into, you see your story coming to light, right? I wrote a book about narcissism in order to help heal victims of narcissism. And I started the book, the first part of the book, it is an immersion. So the second part, it is truly about healing. But why did I start with the immersion? Like when I'm saying the immersion, it means that the book is written like if it's a novel. Why did I do that? Because whatever is written there, the person will recognize themselves because it is their experience. Because narcissistic people are usually always acting the same way, right? So you might have thought that it was a soulmate. It is not surprising, because this is what those kind of people want you to think. And often they even use those words. They say, you are my soulmate, you are my twin flame. And you might have truly felt love like never before. And this is because it was, in fact, manipulation. The golden mirror, self-absorbed, narcissist, once again, one-sided relationship, love bombing. So we have twice here the cards of narcissism. So I guess that what we are talking here, it is about your experience with a narcissist. And I'm just thinking about what I said in the beginning, that very often people stay stuck in narcissistic relationships for many, many, many reasons. There are many layers, but one of them is a narcissist will either be the hero or they will be the victim. They play the victim. And so people stay there and they want to prove them something else, because very often those people, if you hear them, all their exes were crazy. All their exes did horrible things to them. And so they have such a negative view of relationships. This is why they are weird, right? This is their explanation. And so you feel the need to prove them differently. And this is why you don't want to leave, even if you are not happy. It is also part of the whole manipulation, right? They make you feel like if you are leaving, you are just like everybody else, that the world is a dark place. So you feel you carry the responsibility of their mental health or whatever else. It is just a narrative. It is just a story. They are all using exactly the same, right? This is what they are doing. So I kind of feel that this will be a lot of me explaining you about narcissism, but there might be something here that we need to talk about. So I am thinking, what deck do I want to use today? I will use this one. So let's see, just a reminder. This is a collective reading, which means that it is a group reading, which means that it might be for you, it might be partly for you, and it might not be for you. So please, take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't take on yourself a story that is not yours. You are already supposed to know what I'm talking about here. I'm just here in order to give you a little bit more information, insights, or confirmation. If I am talking about masculines or feminines, I am not especially talking about the gender. I'm talking about the energy from where someone is operating. So please apply it however it applies to the roles in your life. And this can be past, present, or future. So let's see. What should the collective be aware of regarding this situation? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen. We have twice the ones here. You putting down the burdens. This is exactly what you need to do in those kind of relationship. Putting down the burdens, because those people, you become their emotional punching bag, their wound carrier, right? You are supposed to carry their wounds. You are supposed to walk on eggshells in order not to awaken their wounds. So they might not say it out loud, but you are trained to understand that you don't want to fight with them because they will put you in a terrible situation, while in fact, if you pay attention, they create the conflicts all the time, while very often they say that it's you, it's not you. Every time that you want to speak about something, it creates a conflict because they are avoidant. Narcissistic people are avoidant. Not every avoidant is narcissistic, I think, but every narcissistic person is avoidant, in fact, right? So putting down the burdens, because you were dealing here with someone that was totally reckless. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. They were confusing you all the time. Can you see all the cards? Yes, you can. They were confusing you all the time. This is somebody controlling. This is somebody reckless, arrogant, hot-headed, temperamental, creating conflicts all the time. Somebody impatient also. You have to be very, very patient with them, but they are totally impatient. You will pay attention that if you are still in this relationship, I hope that at the end of this reading, you will see things so clearly that it will help you release. This is maybe why it came out. Maybe you are still there. But please observe the double standards, right? So they have rules that you need to apply, but those rules don't apply to them. Like, for example, when you are trying to have a discussion with them, they will cut you all the time. They won't let you speak, but don't you dare interrupt them, right? So, they created you a lot of instability, a lot of heartbreak. Again, listen. Five of Wands. We have a lot of Wands here. The Five of Wands is the crisis card of the Wands. Competing with you, fighting with you. This also makes me think about the fact that if you are dealing with somebody narcissistic, very often they are very possessive and they are very jealous because they don't want you to have the attention of anyone else. It can be people of the same gender as you, but it can also be friends. It can also be family. So they are creating conflicts in your life all the time. Looking at this Three of Swords here, the heartbreak that they create, they want to create it, right? It is very intentional because, in fact, because they want to control you, they need you to be weak. And so they are breaking your heart over and over and over again in order to keep you weak. Just a reminder, it is that very often narcissistic people, they are not attracted by people that they don't respect, that they think that they are weak. No, they are attracted by people who are full of light. You have to consider the fact that a narcissist is very ego-driven, so they want somebody next to them that is flattering them, right? But at the same time, they want to control this person. So they are attracted by people that they admire, but they are destroying them in order to control them and not to lose them, right? Tell me more. Six of Swords and the Sun. Yes, yes, yes. You see the light. You saw the light. The sun is here. And taking distance, this here, considering how it came out, what is very often happening, it is that the relationship is ending abruptly, right? There were a lot of conflicts before, but usually it always somehow, there is the makeup schmecks that is once again a boost of release hormones in your body after being stressed out because they ghosted you, they didn't answer to you, they made you feel guilty, they made you feel rejected, everything that they don't want to feel, they will make you feel, right? They will make you feel abandoned, and they will blame you every time that you might, for a reason or another, make them feel abandoned, right? The rules don't apply in both directions. This is what I'm saying. It is double standards here. What I am invited to tell you here, it is the moment that you are taking distance. I already talked about it. Once you get out of this emotional war, distress, you regain mental clarity and suddenly you see things very, very clearly. If you took distance of a narcissistic relationship, right? So you might have what is happening, and it's very disturbing. In fact, it is that on one side, you can see what is happening, you regain this mental clarity, you see the abusive behavior, you start to see the double standards, you see that you were walking on eggshells, you see that you couldn't have a honest relationship with them, that they were always blaming you, you were always the problem, they were the victim, you are too sensitive, all those kind of things. On one side, you can see that, and on the other side, so you have the clarity, but on the other side, you miss them, right? So I just want you to understand that there are two experiences that are happening in the same time, right? You regain your mental clarity. This is mental, but the chemical imbalance in your body, the hormonal imbalance in your body is still there, and this takes time to dissolve. It can take years to dissolve, okay? It's like, somebody who stopped smoking. It doesn't happen in a day. They often say years and years and years and years after, suddenly I was craving a cigarette, right? So just if you have those two things, understand the difference. Once is you are regaining your clarity, but you are still dealing with the chemical imbalance in your body, the addiction. So this takes time. So when thoughts are coming up and you are missing them suddenly, and you want them back, and you have these beautiful images in your mind, simply, you see them, let them go. Don't nourish those thoughts, because if you are nourishing those thoughts, they are taking more space. You are just, you are not helping the addiction to release. It will take time. The best thing that you can do, it is simply, you observe it, you let it pass, like a wave. Let it pass. Don't nourish the thought. Don't doubt yourself. You will have all kinds of things that will come to your mind, that will open inner dialogues in your mind. Don't give it thought, right? Everything that this person has said to you, nothing was coming from a place of truth. Everything was coming from a place of lying, manipulation, trying to protect themselves and blame you. So please don't nourish those inner dialogues. The more distance you take, right, and it takes time, understand, it takes time, but the more clearly you will see the reality that you might not have seen even before, right? So it will also help you with what is happening with your body, with the trauma bond. Yeah, listen. They want you to be in a mental prison. The Eight of Swords. And how are they doing that? The Queen of Swords in reverse. Manipulation, lies, hot and cold. They are not honest, right? First, they will make you the biggest compliment. You are the most amazing person on earth. And then suddenly, they will start to become critical, judgmental, make you feel uncomfortable, I'm searching for the word, make cynical remarks, passive-aggressive, all those kind of things. This is the hot and cold. This is the hot and cold. This is what it is. They are very, very warm and suddenly they become very cold. And when you ask them why, they will say that it's because of you. This is what they will say. It's because of you. It's a lie. It's not true. You didn't do anything. This is how they create the emotional dependence that they need. They need you to be in a mental prison. They need you to question yourself. What is not okay with you? Why? Because then you are not questioning them, right? This is the idea. This is the intention. This is what they want. So, I'm just thinking about it's ridiculous, yeah, but I'm just talking. When I saw the love reading, I was kind of happy because I said, oh, how cool, we will have a love reading. Finally, something positive, No, absolutely not. Apparently, I always say, I kind of feel that a lot of my readings are about healing, but I am a healer, so it's kind of normal that those are the messages that I'm guided to share with you. But you see, the cards are pink, like love. This is the love. Yeah, this is the love oracle. So anyway, what else should I talk about? What should the collective be aware of? The Nine of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Healing comes from self-love, standing your ground, stop doubting yourself. And you have to be very courageous. Releasing of those kind of relationships demands a lot of self-love and a lot of courage, right? But once you see the manipulation, even though, as I said, you will have the imbalance, it is physical. It comes from your body. The thoughts that you are getting, it is coming from this hormonal dependence that you have, right? You have to understand that. It's very, very important. What I also want to say here, it is that very often narcissistic people, they will just cut the relationship. You didn't see it coming, right? Suddenly it's over. It's over. Why? Because they feel that you are starting to see them for who they are. It becomes a very dangerous territory for them. They won't also give you closure because closure demands vulnerability. They are not about vulnerability, they are about control, right? So the moment that they realize that you are regaining yourself, that you are asking for things that you need, they don't like it. You have to be courageous there. Your independence is their biggest threat, right? There is no happily ever after with them. There is none. They will never be. They will never be. Being in a relationship with them, it is being in a prison. You have to totally abandon yourself. You have to totally give yourself. This is what they want. And even if you do that, then they won't respect you. And they will leave you for somebody else, right? So there is no winning in this situation. There is none. There is none. Yeah. You have to listen to your intuition. You have to heal. You have to concentrate on your own path. Let me remind you that before you met this person, you had a life before them, right? And I'm saying that because often we feel that without them, we don't have anything anymore. The reason is because they are destroying our individuality. They are totally compressing our own needs, so we don't even know what we need anymore. It's all part of the abuse, right? It is one of the craziest emotional abuse stories that you can have. It is truly destructive, very, very destructive. They have destroyed all your stability, all your foundation. But remember that you had a life before them, right? The star is talking about healing. Not only, but also healing. Listen to your intuition and heal. They want to avoid to feel rejected, right? They cannot stand it. Their ego cannot stand being rejected. So they will say whatever they need to say for you to crave them. I was also saying about the closure. They will not give you a closure, first because they don't want to be vulnerable, and they don't want to give you the closure because they want to keep you in this mental prison, right? This represents so well a relationship with a narcissistic person, right? And so they will emotionally manipulate you. This is what they did since the beginning. The love bombing phase in the beginning, they were emotionally manipulating you. They were making you feel safe like you felt safe never before. Because they wanted you to have those memories. And also, when you feel safe, then you are sharing your intimacy, you are sharing your past experiences. They shared too, right? Except that what they shared with you, it was all lies. It was for you to feel safe enough for you to reveal what are your triggers, because afterwards they are using your triggers. This is an emotional manipulator, and they will try. They are coming back. You know those stories that we hear that suddenly the ex is coming back when someone is engaged, or even at the wedding itself, right? That they are interrupting the wedding. This is very often a narcissistic person. They cannot lose you. They cannot lose you. So very often they will ghost you. They will still pay attention to you. They will stalk you, all those kind of things, right? But sometimes they are just jumping on another relationship 24 hours after, right? Because they have to maintain their ego. I'm not heartbroken. They are not heartbroken, but their ego is very, very much stained. So they need to immediately clean the stain, right? So people have to see them with somebody else, and they need someone to look at them like if they are the most amazing thing on this planet, right? This is what they need. Where was I going with that? Yes, but the moment that they feel truly that they lose you, which is when you are engaged with someone else, when you are in a new relationship and you are happy, then suddenly they are coming back. And they are emotionally manipulating you, telling you, I regret so much, I understood now. Whatever they couldn't do before, they didn't understand before that you were missing, suddenly they understand. Suddenly they say that they can provide, right? Okay, it's all in order to avoid the tower. Because the tower, for them, the catastrophe, it is your indifference. They cannot stand not to be important. And they will do everything in order to be important. Tell me more here. Three of Cups, yeah. When you are happy, they cannot stand to see you happy. It's not possible. You might also have been put here in a third wheel situation. It might be. Tell me more here. Ace of Swords, clarity, truth, the sword and the rose, clarity, truth, revelation, protection. Here we are talking about regaining mental clarity, understanding something, having a aha moment. And it might have been that with this person, there will be no happily ever after. We already saw we had the 10 of Cups in reverse, and now we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. You might have thought that with this person you could be a power couple. Absolutely not. They need to be, they have a main character syndrome, right? They have to be the main character. You can never be the main character. Here, we might also have, I didn't see the card of the smear campaign, but here we are talking about the community, friends, family going against you. Very often they start the smear campaign kind of in the beginning. Once they feel that people, you know, they're very charming. So very often they charm the friends and the family in the beginning. And then without you knowing it, they are starting to, once you are starting a little bit to react, after 2-3 months, maybe something like that, sometimes even before, they are starting to say that you are mentally unstable. They are starting to say that you are so difficult, that you are toxic, all of those things, right? Because they want people to distance themselves of you. It is a way of create isolation. And also, if you would ever talk about what is happening in your relationship, they want people to make you feel that you are the problem. Maintain the narrative that they are selling you, right? Tell me more here, please. Yeah. The lies, the manipulation, all of that. Page of Swords. Trying to do their best for some kind of information not to come out. They want you to be confused. This is what they want. They need you to be confused. They need people to be confused. But listen, it seems like you see things from a new perspective now. You seeing things for what they are, right? Understanding that no word coming out of their mouth is real, understanding how they operate, this keeps them stuck, right? Once you see things from a different perspective and you have the understanding about what you are experiencing, it changes everything. Tell me more here, please. King of Wands. Their biggest problem, right? It is your independence, your courage. This is their biggest problem. They need to win over you at all cost. This is what they need. If they realize that they are dealing with someone that they cannot destroy, it is a problem. I kind of feel here also that there is someone, this might not represent you, it might be someone external here that they are trying to convince now that whatever this person can understand now about them, right? Seeing things from a new perspective, people that they might have talked to, we might have the community going against them now. There is a lot more awareness now about narcissistic people. And so a lot of people of family communities are taking distance now that they truly understand how they have been played, how they were a flying monkey for this person, how this person has manipulated them and used them, right? So I feel here with this Five of Swords that this person here is trying to convince someone that they respect that they are not who they truly are, right? Let's go for closure. Let's go for closure. Closure, please. I love that. Listen, listen, I love that. I love that. Regaining your stability, your independence, your mental clarity, your independence more than anything. Putting a total ending. The death card is in reverse. This is a total ending. There is no new beginning. Total ending with this relationship. Total ending, right? So, just a reminder. If you are not feeling this stability right now, okay, the moment that you don't leave any open door, the moment that you accept the fact that being with this person, it is a total destruction of your identity, of your life, of your friends, of the community, of everything. This person wants to see you weak. Once you understand that, once you understand the highs and the lows, once you understand why at the same time you might see the toxic behavior, but you still miss them and understand where it is coming from. It is, you know, it's like you want to lose weight, but you crave chocolate. Yes, because you might be addicted to chocolate. Understand what I mean? But here it is truly an addiction, a hormonal addiction that it takes time. It takes time to get rid of it. Because you are thinking about them, because you are missing them, because you have this inner narrative that come to your mind, because there are those memories coming to your mind, it doesn't mean that you want them back. It means that you are still in some kind of addiction. This is what it is. Give it time. Don't give it space in your mind, right? Understand where it is coming from. The most important part, it is take the time to truly think about it. Envision what kind of life you truly have with this person. Not your hope. Destroy your hope. They are counting on your hope, right? Observe the reality. Mark down how many days were good and how many days are bad. And if you are into the relationship, please do it. You know, on your phone, on the calendar, you put a X on the good days, and you will see after a month how many good days you truly had. The good days were very, very good. But it's nothing. It's nothing. Understood? This is when you regain your stability, when for you it is over and done with. The door is closed. And be prepared, because the moment that they feel that the door is closed, they will try to bait you back in. This is what they will do. But once you know, you envision, you give the time to think about it, write about it if you need, take it all out of you, out of your system, be patient with yourself. The moment that you see things as they are, you regain your stability, and that's it. But you have to truly get to this place where you consciously understand why it is over, and it is over for good, right? Even if those images are coming back, even if you are missing them, even if all of that, now you understand where it is coming from, right? You have no control over that. It doesn't mean that you want them back. It just means that you are still trauma bonded. You are still your body is still craving. This is the best way to say that, okay? Your body is still craving the highs and the lows. This is what it is. Sorry, it takes time. So please be patient. I will leave it here. I think that we have enough. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that it was insightful. I hope that it was healing. I'll see you in the comments. Have a beautiful... are we Sunday? Yes, I think we are Sunday. Have a beautiful Sunday. Until very, very soon. Bye.